I had made a bunch of bags and I had left from somewhere and got on the interstate and I saw this dude. This dude, I don't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. It almost looked like a yard sale or something, but not like he had all this stuff laid out on the ground and he was just staring at it. And I was like, what is happening? It didn't look, it was very, very organized. It didn't look like it had fallen out or something. And you could tell it was his, I don't know, I can't explain it. He was just kind of standing there on the corner looking at this stuff, but it was in an area that there wasn't a lot of people, like right off of a exit. And there just was never, it was like the whole plaza was basically shut down. It's in my neighborhood. So like, if you know anything about Sulphur Springs, remember the Kmart Plaza? Anyways, he's on the corner. I drive by and I have bags, but I don't know what this dude's deal is. Cause he's like, I have no idea what's happening. He's just standing over his stuff. He's just looking at it. I go home or I go somewhere. I just remember that there was a second point and a third point where I saw this guy or I interacted on that corner. So the second time around on the corner, I said to myself, let me offer this dude one of these bags. Because when I got off the interstate, I could have very easily pulled into this plaza, hopped out and handed him a bag. But I think I was wary of him. He kind of looked like a wild man, kind of like the one Ron Swanson saw inside of the Whole Foods. Okay. But homeless version, you know, like fully, he was a little bit scary to me. And I am, as much as I love my ministry, I'm not going to front. Like I have to keep myself safe. I have to kind of gauge and I have to judge in that way to make sure I'm okay. And so the first time I drove by him, I just told myself, he doesn't need another bag. Look at all the stuff on the ground. So the second time I see him, I make a U-turn and I go and I give him a bag because I feel bad. And I think I actually had given out a couple bags. See, I didn't make a U-turn. I went through the plaza. I was looking for homeless people. This is how I have to do the ministry. When I have the bags in the car, I have to go find them. And I think I had just moved back after college or something. And so I really didn't know where everybody was at. I was still learning the lay of the land. I went through this plaza because there's always a lot of homeless people in this area off Waters in Florida, if any of y'all ever know what that is. I am turning where he's at. And at this point, he has, I believe, no, he still has all his stuff on the ground. And he's still standing there and he looks stressed. And so I don't know what it was, but something in me said, girl, just give him a damn bag. Like, stop it. Just give him a bag. You keep seeing him, you keep thinking, but you don't know his situation. Just give him a bag. So I reach over and I give him this bag. It's a green bag. I'll never forget this. He won't show me his mouth. I can't explain it, but he's talking to me like this. He's like, oh my God, but his eyes are kind of wide and he's kind of like shaking. And I'm a little bit nervous, like what's happening? But I realized it. He was shocked that I was giving him this bag. That's why his hand was over. He was legitimately like, oh my, that was a, oh my, you know what I'm saying? Kind of moment. When I gave him the bag, I drove off and I went around looking for more people. And when I got back home and was heading home, I got off the interstate again. I was so pissed off. I was super pissed off because the bag was on the fucking ground. This dude was tripping when I gave him the bag. Like he was so grateful. He was like, you don't understand. Like he kept saying, you don't understand. I don't understand. He kept saying that. You don't understand. I don't understand. You don't understand. It was like I have to explain what I've speculated about this man ever since. I think that he was giving up on life. I can't explain it any other way. I've been there most of my life. I know that feeling. I cannot explain it, but I think I may have interrupted someone's I'm over it kind of moment. Across the street, there is a tall tower, the Sulphur Springs Water Tower. I think he laid all his stuff out so that the people would come take it. I know this might sound crazy, okay? But when I pulled up to go pick that bag up, none of that was in my head. I was pissed. I was like, see, why'd you give this man this bag? And here's the thing, I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money when I'm doing this stuff. I still don't have a lot of money, but now I don't think the way that I did then. I was hurt because it's like, bro, why'd you take it? You could have just said no. Plenty of people have been like, no, I'm good. And that's fine. Why'd you take it? So I go to snatch it off the ground. I'm pissed. And to my surprise, when I go to lift it up, oh, it's almost empty. Now, if you remember the beginning of this video, I shared that I put a letter inside. What I didn't tell you is that, because I hate when people get offended by it, but I also put a call to salvation in it. Forgive me if you're offended. I'm trying not to get myself emotional because this story always fucks me up. When I went to pick up the bag and it was super light because it was basically empty, I realized something. This dude had a giant, the bag on a hiking bag that was like this much taller than him. Okay. Cause I could see, I don't remember how I knew that he had this big bag. Maybe I saw him. I think the first time I saw him, he had the bag on. And then afterwards, everything was there. He was on that corner for hours. Okay. Well, he was there so long that some of the people from the neighborhood knew. So when I snatched that bag up, guess what I hear? hey, that's that man's bag. You better put that down. That's not your bag. You need to give it back. And I turn and this is sister coming up to me and I'm like, sis, hold up, sis. Hold up, sis. She got somebody with her. I said, I gave him this bag. I opened the bag and the only things left are a comb because he had dreadlocks and a beard that cannot be combed, a couple other things. But to my surprise, my note was not in that bag. I'm so sorry. He took the note, guys. I knew then, like, this is my job. This is my job. And in that moment, I then had I literally think I had 2 bags left and I gave them the bags. So that was actually perfect. But he listened and it made me realize that they read my note. Like, here's the thing, I'll admit, like sometimes, let's say it's hot, you know, I give somebody a bag of food and water. I always try to give them their privacy afterwards. I don't look at them. I don't record. I don't do stuff like that. But I check my rear view real good. And to watch someone rip open, like not just like, you know, but like rip open, like eat the sandwich that I made them breaks me every time. To see someone like tear the bottle of water, like they cannot get it off fast enough to drink it and chug it, breaks me every time. Like I will burst into tears, try not to like crash my car driving and stuff. I will never forget being in my uncle's old car when I was a little kid. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure my dad had made me think that homeless people were bad and you never give them any money because they're just going to go waste it on something bad. And so I turned to my dad's brother when he gave this homeless person, I'm pretty sure, a $20 bill at the same corner. I'm just realizing it was at the same corner because to get to that same corner, you could actually drive behind the Kmart and then you could go across the street to get to the exit. I guess it wasn't the same corner. It was like the corner behind the plaza versus the corner to turn into the plaza. The story I just told you and the story about my uncle happened in the same spot, but like 20 years before that. My uncle turned to me and he said something about, you know, the Bible says that if they go out and they get something to drink, like it's all right. They might be having a tough day. You know, and it was like, and ever since then, it just changed the way that I see everybody. And so I really want to encourage you. More and more people nowadays are unhoused, or I don't like that term, by the way. I think somebody made it like I think a comedian talked about it, how like you don't want to call them homeless. You call them unhoused because it feels better. And I'm like, yeah, I like that. Does anybody remember who that was? Because I really want to find that clip again and share it. If you are ever interested in giving back to your community, I highly suggest that even if you don't do it forever, start here. Start with a giving ministry. Start with going through your pantry or going to Dollar Tree and just making one bag even. Get a pack of envelopes from Dollar Tree. They have like 40 that are like this big in a pack. Put a few dollars in and then just go and keep it. Whatever you need to do, start with a homeless ministry. I think the beauty of it is that you'll realize what you do and don't like about it. For me, it's perfect. It fits my love language. It fits my budget. It fits my sporadic nature, but also when I'm able to just do like, I'm gonna go spend $500 at Dollar Tree. Sometimes I'll even order cases from them and just pick up boxes of like whatever they have, put together a huge haul, and then go to areas like downtown Tampa is a great place. I don't know much about other places, but I know downtown Tampa, there's some streets and stuff leading up to it where there's like Salvation Armies. Go find Salvation Armies. That's a very good place where a lot of people will generally be. Homeless shelters, there might be a lot of people outside. Food kitchens, like there's all kinds of places where you'll see different things. Being able to then go out and just pass is amazing to me, right? So I know that this works for me. You may realize that you don't want to give money, but you want to give time. There's 168 hours in a week. So if you give 17 hours per week to volunteering or to pouring into someone, that could be how you tithe your resources. I just want you to really think about how you can be more of a giver.